Hello, my name is Manik Mungjarang. I was born in Burma of the Anak tribe. I came to live in Thailand because both of my parents were killed in an accident when I was very young. I had a woman who looked after me for a while, but she had many children of her own, so I could not remain there. Because of this, we had to immigrate to Thailand when I was about 2 to 3 years old. My older brother was the one to make this decision. He was about 15 or 16 years older than me. We lived in the mountains of northern Thailand for a while. My older brother decided that he couldn't take care of me, so he left me with various relatives for bits of time, but eventually my brother decided to sell me to a Lisu tribal family for the price of 800 baht at that time. I had two main duties while I lived with the Lisu family. I had to look after the garden and the farming every single day. I would also serve the water and food to the family daily as their hired hand. My second duty was to look after the 3 to 4 water buffalo and feed them every day. If there was a day I didn't look after them well, the Lisu man would hit me. There was one day especially when I tied the water buffalo up and went to play. The buffalo got loose and ate all the vegetables of one of the neighbors. Anytime they got loose or did damage, my owner would beat me. Because of this, I was afraid to go back to sleep at the owner's house, where they had a mattress for me to sleep in the rice barn. It had a small lock and 2 blankets to keep me warm. It wasn't just the bed that was different, but it was also the way I dined. I wanted to eat my food like the other people. My owner would give me a plate and a spoon that was just for me, but he would make me sit outside and eat by myself. He would scoop the curry in my bowl, and whether it was enough or not, it was all I got. I only had one set of clothes to wear every day. If I peed in it, I had to wear it until it dried. I slept in the blankets that smelled like pee. Sometimes I could hardly breathe. There was no one to look after me, but one day, my brother came looking for me to talk to the Lisu man who raised me. He didn't tell me he was my older brother. My brother ruffled my hair without saying anything. He then went into the house to talk business with the owner. When he was finished, he left without a word, and I didn't see him for another year. About a year later, he returned to redeem me from the Lisu family. Then the Lisu man who had raised me all those years told me, "Today you must leave here and go live with your brother." I started crying. I didn't want to leave the place because the Lisu culture and language was all I knew. I cried, "I don't know him. I don't want to go with him," even though he was my brother. But eventually I had to go with my brother despite my reluctance. He would carry me or pull me along behind him. So I had to return to live with my brother in the mountains called Elephants. During the first year that I lived there, I tried to live there. I tried to adjust from the Lisu language to only speaking the Anka language. There was a lady named Miss Rose Martinez. We called her Mother. She had come from America to oversee the orphans in the mountains of northern Thailand. During that time, I began to attend church for the poor people in the area. The pastor at that church took me to apply to live at the orphanage of Miss Rose Martinez. I was accepted and taken to live at the Happy Home Orphanage in Chiang Rai, Nang Lea district. I lived at the Happy Home for 14 years and began my studies in the 1st grade. I was older than all the others. They were about 5 to 7 years younger than me. My friends were about 7 years old when I was about 12 to 13, which made everyone in the class and school laugh at me and say I was a worthless child. I was very embarrassed because I could neither speak Thai nor read any books, but I really wanted to study, so I decided to face my shyness and told myself that one day, if I studied hard until the 9th grade, then I could go study like an adult at a technical school. So I waited for that day and patiently studied hard until I completed 9th grade. I decided I would become a contractor. I wanted a lot of money and to have a good future. But the most important thing I decided at that time was that I did not want God in my life. I did not want to be a Christian. I thought it would be better to not adhere to any religion. So I decided to take the Bible that I had read all throughout elementary, high school, and vocational school and throw it into the forest behind the orphanage. But on the day I received my vocational diploma, I had put my diploma in the basket on my motorcycle, and before I reached the orphanage, I felt like someone pushed me over the motorcycle. I wasn't driving fast, maybe 35 miles per hour, and was driving on the outside of the white line on the road. But as I was falling, I felt so grateful to God that I did not fall to the right side. If I had, I would have surely died or become severely disabled. I finally made it home to the orphanage with a crumpled diploma that was no longer usable. 1 week after this incident, I decided to leave the orphanage home along with all my belongings and go live with my stepmother in Chiang Mai. For the first few days, I felt very at home. I had my own room, a TV, and freedom. But I quickly realized I had made a mistake and felt no peace. So I decided to return to the orphanage once again, carrying my bags back from Chiang Mai to Chiang Rai. Then I went to see Mother Rose, who had once looked after me. She asked me what had happened to me and why I had come looking for her at Chiang Saen orphanage. She encouraged me to go back and pray and read the scriptures for 1 month, then come back and find her again. I decided to follow Mother Rose's advice because I respected her and didn't want to offend her. So 1 month later, I returned again with the intention of telling Mother Rose that I did not want God in my life, nor any religion. But when I got there, the words would not come out of my mouth. It felt too awkward. When I was finally able to speak, the words that came out were not planned, nor had I had any intention of saying. I said, I would like to try to study the Bible. As soon as I spoke the words out loud, I felt relieved and peace washed over me. Then Mother Rose read from 1 Corinthians 6:19-20 that says, God is the owner of our lives. We are not our owners. God has bought us at a high price. Therefore, we should use our lives and our bodies to honor God. After that, I decided to study the Bible. It was 4 years along with 1 year internship for a total of 5 years. But as I was about to finish my studies, I asked God, for what reason did you have me study the Bible? I did my internship and didn't like it at all. I didn't want to be a pastor or serve in the church. So I asked God what I was to do, and why was I born to be an orphan? I felt so unconfident in my abilities, and I didn't know what direction I should go in to serve the Lord after graduating seminary. However, the question I had been asking God my whole life about being an orphan was finally answered by the Lord. He told me I had been an orphan in order to be a blessing to other orphans. I felt peace and satisfied with this answer. It cleared up all the questions in my head. After that, I decided to serve the Lord by working at the orphanage in Chiang Mai district. I had been serving for a while when Mother Rose called me one day to return to the happy home to serve there. I told her I was very happy to, and by God's grace, I would return to happy home. Within the first 3 months, I made the decision to not take a salary because I wanted to repay God's grace towards me. I wanted to serve God because I was so grateful to Him that I was able to grow up at Happy Home. One of my main goals in serving the Lord is that I want the orphans at the home to know that the Lord loves them very much in a very special way. I dare to say this because the Bible repeats it very often, to look after orphans, widows, foreigners, and servants of the Lord. I tell the children that I look after that we are orphans. Sometimes our parents die, sometimes our parents are in jail, sometimes our parents do bad things to us or to others, but no matter what is broken, God still gives us a future. God will never leave us or throw us away. What I would like to say to all the children I look after is that when we have the Lord, we have everything. When we have God and we allow Him to lead our lives, He is ready to take the responsibility for our lives. The last thing I would like to do is challenge you, whether you are an orphan, a foreigner, or a widow. God is the only one who can revive your life. God is the only one who can lift you up and give you air to breathe. This He does for you and me and everyone He created on earth. But we as humans, we have difficulty because we choose to walk after our own heart. As a matter of fact, the Bible says that God has a plan for everyone whom He allows to live here on this earth. God says it is a good plan for us, a plan that will give us peace. It is a plan that God will guarantee. But people don't want God, and in the end, we will be alone in our troubles. Therefore, I would like to challenge and encourage my brothers and sisters that whatever situation you are in, the life that chooses God as the leader, God can change your life. God can lift us up. Even if you feel like you are dirt, you can become a star. In this, I would like to challenge you, and I would like to thank God for sending His mercy and lifting me up. God is the one who changed me. God can change any of you who are watching this today. Thank you.